Let's get on to this Thiago Silva stuff, people. Fluminense president has been speaking yesterday. He said obviously he'd love Thiago Silva to play for the club again. This is something that's not gone away. It's been there before. Fluminense president Mario Bittencourt on Thiago Silva. I continue with this desire to bring him in for the brilliant player he is, for his high performance at his age, that he's a great tricolor. I'm sure that one day he could play for Fluminense again. There's always been this idea about Thiago Silva finishing his career in Brazil at Fluminense, the club that he started his career at. Obviously, he left there at 24 to go to AC Milan, and then he's gone on to do what he's done. It doesn't need explaining. Obviously, I think I've seen something about him saying that he kind of looks up to Maldini, the way that he's looked after himself. He's got a massive group of people around him. He looks at that as an investment, and he feels that he can play to that sort of age, 40, 41. In terms of what Chelsea should do with him, I honestly feel that he will finish his career in Brazil and he will go and do a season there, and then he will obviously call it a day once he's maybe gone back to Brazil and done a season. In terms of what Chelsea should do with him, obviously he's very happy at the club. His kids play for Chelsea. His wife's happy here. Everyone loves him at the club. The fans adore him. But we've got to be honest with ourselves. Yes, he's still performing to a very, very high level and starts most weeks for us. But in the long term, does it make sense for Chelsea to keep him at the club next season? Now, certainly, if he's happy to not play every week, take a bit more of a dressing room role, a bit more of a mentor to the younger players, maybe move into, maybe like Azpilicueta was towards in his last season, where you're not going to play that much, but your presence around the dressing room, in the the training ground, all the young players, if you can sort of implant wisdom onto them and all that sort of thing, then yeah, there's a potential for that to be an option. But I think he backs himself, he backs his ability. He's still going to want to play, even at 40 years of age, which he will be next season. I mean, it's remarkable when you're talking about the levels he's hitting at the age he's at. It's a credit to himself and the way that he's looked after himself over the years. But I would have to say that I do believe that it probably is best that this is Chelsea's. This is his last season at Chelsea. Sorry, because yeah, it's just not. I don't know. It's just not quite. I'm not sure if it's quite right to continue in terms of we've got Benoit Badiashile, we've got Levi Cole, we've got Wesley Fofana hopefully coming back into the mix. We've got Axel Disasi there as well. We've got Colwell, Badiashile, Disasi, Wesley Fofana, and we are probably going to go and sign another centre back if reports are to be believed. So yeah, it's an interesting one. We need to see these guys play more minutes. We need to develop these guys more, give them more minutes to develop their game. And yes, Thiago Silva is the present of Chelsea, absolutely, but he's not the future. And we've got to give these younger guys more minutes, form a new partnership, allow these guys to develop, get used to the league, get used to Premier League football, get used to playing alongside one another. Yes, I know that Badiashile and Disasi have got experience playing alongside one another at Monaco, so that's not necessarily much of a partnership that needs reforming, or maybe just needs a bit refreshing a little bit. Obviously, we saw them against Blackburn, and that's been the only time. And it is going to be interesting. Obviously, Wesley Fofana, a bit of the forgotten guy when he comes back. Colwell spent the majority of his time playing left back. It'd be good to get him a consistent run in the middle. And it does beg an interesting question in terms of what is Chelsea's best partnership going forward at centre back. Because for me personally, I believe it's Levi Colwell and Benoit Badiashile. You need that chemistry. We need it with the new guys. And look, I don't mean time to move on as in you're not good enough, you need to go. But I think it's just come to a natural changing of the guard in regards to Thiago Silva. I think when we signed him at 36 years of age on a free transfer under Lampard, I thought we felt, yeah, this guy will come in and do one, maybe 2 seasons, and he'll play a few games here and there. I don't think anyone predicted him to go on and do what he's done for the club. So, yeah, it's been one of our best signings for sure. But I think it is time to move on. I think that would be a fair thing to say. allow the new guys, the younger guys to play and develop, and for Chelsea to build a new partnership and a new kind of centre back spine, as it were, in the team, because that is really, really important. And for me personally, look, we've got Disasi. We don't really know what Fofana's going to be like when he comes back from injury, but when he has played for us, he has looked really good. And I think people forget how good he actually is. Badiashiel's been an absolute gem, but again, when's he going to play? Obviously, he played against Blackburn in the Cup, but, as I said, centre-backs don't necessarily get subbed on unless there's an injury or you're trying to see a game out. Where are his minutes going to come from? He's played 60 minutes in the Cup, and he's played nothing since. So, yeah, there are some interesting decisions absolutely to make at centre-back. But for me personally, I think Badiashile and Colwell is the way forward for Chelsea, and then have obviously Fofana and Disasi as rotation. Obviously, depending on how Fofana comes back from his injury, gets up to speed, match fitness wise, I'm sure he can potentially work his way into a starting spot on a regular basis. But for me, I do think it's the way forward is Colwell and Badiashile. Yes, I know it's two left-footed centre backs, and people are always like, "Oh, you can't do that." Well, why can't you have two left-footed centre backs? I really don't think it's that big of a problem. I don't see how it causes that many issues. So for me, yeah, sadly, I think it probably is going to be Thiago Silva'S last season. I think it will just come to a natural parting of ways. He can go back to Brazil, finish his career where he started it, kind of a full circle moment. But if that would be my guess if I had to take a hunch on what's going to happen to him at the end of the season. Not because he's not good enough, not because he's not professional or anything like that. We just need to start preparing for the future and establishing a new partnership and allowing these young players to play, on a more consistent basis. And yeah, that for me is absolutely the way that we should be going, people. But of course it's sad. I mean, what a legend. Absolutely love him. He comes over at the end after every single game. Fans chant his name. He's done so much for this football club in such a short space of time. He's really a legend. I don't think anyone's come in at his age, well, not only his age, but come in and made such an impact that perhaps wasn't an academy player or someone like an immense talent of an attacking player like Eden Hazard, for example. He's made such a big difference to everything we do. He's a top guy, and he will be missed. But for me, yeah, that would be, for me, I think it makes sense for this to be his last season. And it makes sense to give those minutes that he's having to the other guys. And I think Colwell and Badiashile is going to be our long-term partnership moving forward. That would be my hunch of what I think the best centre-back pairing is. Of course, Badiashile, Disasi could be one. Pochettino might decide that he sees Levi Colwell as wants to use him more as a left-back potentially. Let's wait and see. Obviously, Wesley Fofana in the mix as well. I have to wait and see how he comes back. He's more than good enough to be a mainstay at centre-half for Chelsea for many, many years, providing he can stay fit. But as far as Thiago Silva's concerned, I absolutely do believe that it is in the best interests of everyone that this would be his last season at Chelsea and a natural moving of the guard, as it were. He goes back to Brazil. We start building again for the future at centre-back, get a new partnership going, develop these younger players more, and we move forward from there. That would be my take on the Thiago Silva situation. But it will be a sad day when it comes to being his final game for Chelsea. That'd certainly be one that, as a fan, you'll definitely want a ticket for, and you'll definitely want to be in that stadium to see him for the final time in a Chelsea shirt. But what have you been saying in the chat, guys? I mean, what are your thoughts on this centre-back issue in the chat, people? Let me know. By the way, guys, I said 40 likes on the stream. We're on 22. We're over halfway. There's 36 of you in here. We need to hit the 40 likes mark, and then the lines will open for you to be able to call in and have your say. So, people, make sure you are smashing the like button, get it up to 40 likes, and subscribe, of course, to the channel if you are new around here. But there's no excuse not to be smashing that like button, guys. It's free. It takes seconds to do, so please do it. The sooner we get to 40, the sooner the lines will open and you can come on and have your say. So please smash that like button. Otherwise, we'll lose against Man City on Sunday. If you're in here now and you've not smashed a like, make sure you do, because otherwise we're going to lose the City. So hit that like button, people. What are you saying about stuff in what are you guys saying about defenders in the chat then? What we think is the best partnership going forward? Silva, legend, time to leave. I think it probably is a natural time to part ways. Disasi, Cole, find a bad issue. Want to see these guys start every game. I mean, all four of them aren't going to start, but to be fair, all four of them potentially could start if you go with a four. If you go four centre backs and a back four, but that's not going to happen with Reece James. I think they'll go for more of a development centre back, more of a development centre back. Someone that is going to play a role in the squad. I don't think it will be an elite level starting centre back. I'd be shocked if that was the case. What else we got going on here? Exactly, build chemistry like JT and Carvalho type with these new guys need to move on. Yeah, I think that's fair. It'll be worse about Silva. That's reality with a defender in Chalobah, but I don't think that's quite true. Chalobah, for whatever reason, I don't think. Obviously, he's not been fit the whole season anyway. He's not been fit the whole season. That's been an issue. So, yeah, it's a shame with Chalobah because I don't think he's done much wrong in a Chelsea shirt at all. But just been a victim of one, the manager not really fancying him that much, and two, unfortunately, as good as he is and as well as he's done for us, the guys ahead of him are just better than him. It's as simple as that. There's no slight on him. He's just not as good as the guys that are ahead of him. The only one you could perhaps debate is Disasi, but actually this season Disasi has been very good. So I don't really think we can have. I don't think we can have too many complaints on this one, people. I really don't. What else we got here? Fofana is for me starter. Yeah, no, he's a top defender. I'm a massive fan of his, but again, fitness has been his big problem, and we have to wait and see how he's going to be, what he's going to be like when he comes back. Obviously, from that injury, that it's going to take a long time. It's going to take him ages to get back up to match fitness. But absolutely, if he can stay fit and get back to playing football on a regular basis, then yeah, for sure, he absolutely is a starter. But that, unfortunately, that's still a big if right now at this point in time. Yes, Wes, hope you're good, brother. Hope you're good. What else we got going on here? One final game of season. I hope Chelsea. Yeah, hopefully. Coaching job for Silva would be a good move. Yeah, coaching job. Of course, I think he'll go and finish his career in Brazil, but absolutely, we need to make sure that we have him back in some sort of capacity at Chelsea. Absolutely, I think he's got so much to offer off the pitch as well. Yeah, I can't lie. It will be a sad day. It will be a sad day. I mean, I don't know if I'll cry, but it could certainly be close. It'll be a sad day when that happens. But yeah,